Hello and welcome to this segment on parenthood in the modern age. For those unfamiliar, we in the West, and specifically from where we are based here in the UK, there is a catastrophically declining birth rate, an academic, media and economic environment that crushes, denigrates and reduces the value of children and child rearing. We prefer to push the raising of children to childcare providers, educational institutions and government-subsidised programs. So it's important to understand who the people are that have been raised to the positions of power in these institutions that raise children for us. Because it has been said that it takes a community to raise a child, but now we have a centralised authority with voices that speak down from on high, offering universal advice, specific support, and promises to look after you. Who are these people? It isn't proud fathers or wise women. Increasingly, it is the childless elite of single-child families, people who never have and never seek the experiences of being around children. Is it any wonder that family support is at an all-time low? The previous generational gap was 20 to 25 years, now it's 30 to 35 years. That's an entire generation that has been lost that could have helped raise the next generation. Is it any wonder that children are seen societally as a burden, only mentioned in terms of their economic impact or the horrors of looking after them, from unwanted mess to drain on time? The word parasite is thrown around in casual conversation, as if a child were an alien presence, something inflicted upon every family rather than brought into this world as a gift, previously seen as from on high. The birth of a child has gone from miraculous provision to insidious invader, the implication being that women have transcended their slavery to childbirth through contraception. I am sure that the corporate overlords holding their new chains are smiling down at their ignorance. Is it any wonder that these people exist in a vacuum where their greatest joys in life are measured by the number of holidays, or the amount of things they own, or their successes in a job they despise and that will not fulfill them? They have no frame of reference, no brothers or sisters, they have never cared for a child alongside growing up, they don't interact with people with children. They don't interact with people who have children. In fact, they lament the loss of their friends who choose to leave their hedonistic lifestyle and embrace parenthood. There are articles upon articles about the backlash that parents, especially women, receive from their so-called friends in the corporate world after they had rejected careerism. These workers cannot see why someone would make such a choice, as the powers that be whisper in their ear that children are economically unviable with their current lifestyle, that children are a climate disaster, that the world is getting worse and there is no possible reason to bring a child into these despairing times, that if they did, the child would only become as miserable as they are, if they don't choose to end it all first, replaced by the next go-getter. Sold the lie, these women go forward not to multiply new humans, but to spread the message that all of us can and should find deep spiritual fulfillment in the welcoming arms of Ben and Jerry's and looking after their fur babies, cats and dogs. The revealed preference of these women, deeply distraught and seeking an answer to the question, why am I miserable, aged 45 with no family, a job I hate, barely making ends meet, is to propagate their suffering by warning younger women off of families themselves, claiming they are fulfilled, whilst their private blogs and occasional slips of the mask tell otherwise. It brings to my mind that oft-repeated phrase, the abused abuse. Somewhat reductive, but in this case true. In order to preserve their status, they lie to themselves and to those around them that they are happy, to ensure their resentment has an outlet in denial. I want to take this moment to remind us all of the simple joy in the smile of your son or daughter in their formative years, their first steps, their first words, their first drawings, their first friends, their first romance, their first experiences of food, places, names and faces. And of course, being a parent is so much more than this, a series of ups and downs, tragedies and successes, all coloured by love, all coloured by the bonds of relationships and the community that raises the child, from family and friends to influences further afield, both benign and not. A family that embraces their roles is one that will endure, one that will hold the dearest of memories core to the human experience come the end of their earthly days. In a word, fulfillment. A family is not something to rush headlong into, and both man and woman must be of the same mind, one body and one intent. things, notably, that are antithetical to the modern mindset. When considering how you wish to pursue those things that are valuable to you in your life, remember, as I am sure many of you do, that we come into this world with nothing and we leave with nothing. It's far more important to have led a good life than to have accrued, as the Christians call it, treasures on this earth. Nothing is going to truly compare when you come to look back in old age with all regrets and bad experiences forgotten to those treasured moments that only parenthood and your journey through life can bring. Some food for thought.